We are the Troubadourettes, Judy Arco, Karen Wallace, and we're very happy to be here this evening and help celebrate the man, the magic, the legend, Mr. Damon Runyon.
I didn't know Damon Runyon was a poet. I was an English teacher, and I love poetry, but I didn't know he could write poetry. I was very aware of the other writings he'd done, short stories and, of course, sports and things. But we chose tonight 4 poems written by Damon Runyon from a book called Poems for Men. Now, I plead to differ. But anyway, when he was a young man, Damon Runyon volunteered to fight in the Spanish-American War. He was witness to the cruelties of the Spanish incursion across the Mexican border into the Texas border towns. He wrote the poem, The Raid, which is only 3 stanzas long. It's an unusual poem, and it reflects the horrors of war, which the young man saw. The Raid. Only the wreck of the border town, where the children weep in the morning heat. Yonder the buildings burning down, and the schoolman dead at the end of the street. And yonder the schoolhouse smoldering from the torch they laid in the dreadful night. Yonder the spot where she led them in song. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Only a trooper killed at his post. A shot came out of the mesquite there, as the raiders passed in a ghostly host, and the hoofbeats rang in the midnight air. Yonder, the camp where he spent his days, and yonder, the heap of the new-made grave. Hark! That's the cavalry band as it plays. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Only a ranchman slain in bed. His throat is cut and his family's gone. Only another gringo dead, and the troop rides off in the bloody dawn. Yonder, old Taylor stormed the height and held with the men from Tennessee. Hark! That's an echo across the night. O'er the land of the brave and the home of the free. It said to be sung, so that's was not my interpretation. His common knowledge that Union Avenue, or Union Street as it's called in the poem, was the red light district, with lots of ladies of the evening. This poem deals with that, in a way. One of the terms that was in the poem that I didn't know was the word hack, which is a small, one-horse, hired buggy with a driver, and it has room for 1 or 2 people inside. They're quite small. This poem is written in the first person, in a way, and so it makes me wonder if maybe he actually saw this particular funeral. The funeral of Madame Chase.
Yeah.
A big black hearse, 'twas Dougal's hearse, creaked down through Union Street, and old echoes were aroused by the horse's heavy feet. And all our town knew Dougal's hearse bore to some resting place the last of her who once was known as Madame Sarah Chase. And all the old men of our town were on the street that day. With senile stealth, it seemed to me, they tried to hide away. They did not meet, and stand and gas as old men love to do, but seemed to slink and each by himself, and why, nobody knew. One lone hack, 'twas Pitkin's hack, with Pitkin on the seat, was all that followed Dougal's hearse as it creaked through Union Street. One lone hack, and in that hack was one lone man, and he was banker George S. Hammerslough, and all the town could see. So slim, so gray, so very old, he sat erect and stern, and glanced about from left to right, with eyes that seemed to burn, and wagging tongues of gossip stalked, and none that glance could meet, as slowly passed the hearse and hack along Union Street. And my old man, who hadn't bowed to Hammerslough for years, stood at the curb and bared his head and leaked some senile tears. "I know him for a skunk," he said, "and my hate'll never quit. A liar, cheat, 2/3 a thief, but by God, he's no hypocrite." One lone hack, 'twas Pitkin's hack with Pitkin on the seat, was all that followed Dougal's hearse as it creaked through Union Street. One lone hack, and in that hack was one lone man, and he was banker George S. Hammerslough, for all the town to see.
Well done, Judy. Thank you. Well, we all know that Mr. Damon Runyon was a gambling man. He liked to roll the dice and he liked to bet on the ponies. I've got a couple of his poems for you about horse racing. From the jockey's perspective.
Nice.
Thank you. The first one is die in front, or don't quit till you win. Many a racehorse, good and bad, the old man sent to the post, and only one order the old man had, with a minute to that at the most. And this was the order he used to give as he tightened a cinch with a grunt. "Jock, you get out there and get into the front. Get out there as quick as you can and die in front." Owners, I've rid 1,000, trainers 1,000 more. And the orders they'd give you at post time was enough to make you sore. Never but one like the old man, a little old grizzled runt. "Jock, you get out there as quick as you can, and Jock, you die in front." Never no talk or planning, or guff what the hoss could do. Never no kicking or panning, if the hoss couldn't get you through. A friendly pat in the paddock, a grin and a gentle grunt. "Jock, get out there as quick as you can, and Jock, you die in front." The jockey speaks. "I want a steak for a millionaire, a steak worth 20 grand. And I see in the papers he says he put 5,000 in my hand. Well, he didn't give me a single dime over my riding fee. There wasn't even a pat on the back or a word of thanks for me. Then I won with a horse in a selling race. The purse was pretty small, and the horse I rode wasn't much of a horse, wasn't a horse at all. But a gambler come to me after the race, a guy I never knew. I win 5 grand on the ride you rode. He says, here's $1 grand for you. Now they got me down on the ground. And some folks wonder why. Well, the judges up in their little cage, they said I didn't try. For there was another race one day, and they said I wasn't square. They said I rode for the gambler when I was hired by the millionaire.